I was never the kind of man who got jealous. I simply didn't have a reason to be. When you're married to someone like Lena, a woman who looks at you like you're the only man that exists, suspicion doesn't even cross your mind. You just feel fortunate, blessed, even. We'd been together for 18 years. I first met her when she was 23, just out of college with a degree in literature and a head full of dreams about writing novels. I was 28 then, running a modest construction team. I wasn't a flashy guy, no tailored suits, no big corner office. But I was steady. I wanted something real. A home, a family, a future. She said that's what she wanted too. We started from scratch. A one-bedroom apartment, hammer-down furniture, greasy budget pizzas every Friday night. She stood by me through the rough parts, late nights, endless piles of paperwork, the pressure that came with owning a business. She'd help organize receipts, gently remind me to breathe when I felt like I was drowning. When we finally scraped together enough to buy a small fixer-upper, it felt like we had won something. She picked the tiles. I laid them down. She painted the walls. I put up shelves. That house became a reflection of us, every corner shaped by our effort. I believed we were building a life together, one piece at a time. But building something with someone doesn't guarantee they won't tear it down. The warning signs didn't scream. They whispered. Lena had always been thoughtful, serene, a little lost in her own mind sometimes. But she started to pull away, smiling at her phone in a way that didn't sit right with me. Taking longer showers, her phone always within arm's reach. Wearing perfume on days she didn't step outside. I asked if something was bothering her, if there was something we needed to talk about. She gave me this soft, almost distant smile and said, "No, babe, just in my head. You know how I get." And I did know. Lena could drift off sometimes, wrapped up in her own thoughts. So I convinced myself it was just one of those moods. But something inside me stayed restless. One night, I was working late out in the garage. She didn't know I was still outside. From the window, I saw the kitchen light flicker on. It was nearly midnight. She walked in, phone to her ear, laughing. Not just any laugh, the kind that's light, playful, full of something new. A sound I hadn't heard from her in a long time. And it wasn't meant for me. She leaned against the counter, twirled a lock of hair between her fingers, whispered, "You're bad," and bit her lip. That tiny gesture said more than any words could. She'd never done that with me, not even when we first fell in love. Something inside me shifted then. It wasn't anger. It was something sharper. Still, focused. I didn't want an argument. I wanted answers. The next morning, I acted like nothing was wrong. Kissed her forehead. Told her I'd be working late. But I didn't go to work. I drove over to the hardware store and picked up a handful of small motion trigger cameras, easy to hide and simple to install. That evening, I told Lena I was setting up a few around the house, saying there'd been some break-ins nearby. She just nodded, half distracted, eyes locked on her phone. Over the next few days, I installed 2 cameras inside, one in the living room, another aimed at the front door from the hallway. I linked them to a private cloud and gave it some time. I didn't obsessively check the footage every day. I waited. The first week yielded nothing. The second week, I caught a faint voice, a man's, though the words were too quiet to make out. Lena was pacing barefoot across the living room, a glass of wine in hand, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looked tense, then suddenly smiled. That smile told me I was closing in. Week 3 delivered exactly what I needed. It was a Thursday. I was supposed to be working an hour away on a job site, and she assumed I'd be gone most of the day. Around 2 in the afternoon, he arrived, mid-30s, tall, lean. He wore casual yoga pants and a hoodie, but moved with the ease of someone who belonged there. She greeted him with a kiss right at the door. It wasn't hesitant or nervous. It was a kiss weighted with history. He carried takeout in his hand. I heard her say, "You remembered?" And his reply, "Always." They curled up on my couch, my own couch, and fed each other bites like teenagers in love. That was the exact moment I stopped loving her. I didn't yell or cry. I simply watched, fists clenched, heart hollow. I downloaded the video and saved it. Then I began digging, learning everything I could about him. His name was Tyler. He owned a yoga studio in town called Soulflow. He drove a hybrid, drank oat milk, and posted videos about energy and alignment. I wanted to hate him, but what I felt was worse. I felt insulted. This wasn't some superior man stealing my wife. He was a soft-spoken fitness coach hiding behind spiritual buzzwords. He didn't take her from me. She gave herself willingly. And for that, both of them would have to face the consequences. The first step I took was to separate our finances. Quietly, I opened a new bank account, redirected my paycheck, and transferred nearly $40,000 I'd saved in secret. She never suspected a thing. I left enough money in our joint account to keep appearances. Next, I went after Tyler. I crafted a fake identity. Nick Bryant, an entrepreneur planning to launch a chain of upscale wellness centers. I contacted him through a fake profile, clean, professional, untraceable. Told him I was a big fan of his work and wanted to collaborate on a high-end branding project. His ego ate it up without hesitation. We agreed to meet at a luxury condo I'd rented for the weekend under my actual name. The place was a stunner, polished marble everywhere, floor-to-ceiling glass, panoramic city views. I told Lena I had a sudden business meeting. She barely acknowledged me as I walked out the door, too busy with whatever was on her screen. Tyler showed up right on time. Saturday morning, 11 sharp, flashing that confident smile. His hair pulled back in a man bun, a fitted black t-shirt clinging just enough to suggest it wasn't an accident. He carried himself like someone used to being admired. I offered him a double espresso. We chatted for a bit. He told me I had grounded energy. I nodded like I bought it. Then I said, "There's someone I want you to meet." I walked over and opened the bedroom door. Lena stepped out, expecting to meet Nick, the fictional wellness partner I told her had booked a surprise couples retreat. She thought she was pulling off another quiet deception. But the real surprise? I was already in the room, standing right next to Tyler. Her expression shattered, eyes wide, face pale. Tyler's gaze darted from her to me, his confident posture cracking a confusion twisted into dread. "You remember Lena, don't you?" I asked, calm as glass. She whispered my name like it might somehow change the outcome. I motioned toward the couch. "Have a seat." They froze, so I pulled up the footage. There they were, laughing, kissing, her curled up beside him while he rubbed her feet, on our couch. Our dog patted in the background. Her voice, breathy, calling out his name. Tyler went ghost pale. Lena collapsed into the nearest chair. "You recorded us," she whispered. I shook my head. "No, you did. Forgot your phone was syncing to the cloud again." She covered her face with trembling hands. Tyler looked like he was about to speak. I raised my hand before he could. "Don't bother. I've seen the messages. The jokes about me. How easy I was to fool. How she had me wrapped around her finger." He went quiet. Then I dropped the last hammer. "Your sponsors? They've seen the footage. And the screenshots. You might want to check your email. Pretty sure the part where you brag about seducing married clients won't look great on your next campaign." His face drained completely. He stammered something under his breath and turned to leave until he saw my friend waiting in the hallway. XMMA, built like a wall. Just a precaution. Tyler backed down. Quickly. Lena sobbed. Said she didn't know why she did it. Claimed she was lost. Swore she still loved me. I looked at her. Really looked. And I felt nothing. No anger. No pain. Just exhaustion. I already filed. I told her, "You'll be served Monday. Keep the house. I'll move out. The dog stays with me. Don't fight it. You already said in text you couldn't handle the shedding. I've got the screenshots." She reached for me. I stepped away. That was the last time I saw her in person. I moved into a small loft across town and started rebuilding, quietly, deliberately. I cut ties, blocked her number, deleted every photo, reclaimed my time with people who truly gave a damn. And I never looked back. Tyler's yoga studio folded within 2 months. A scandal broke, accusation from students. I didn't lift a finger. That was just karma, showing up right on cue. Lena tried to get back in touch. New numbers, voicemails full of regret. Said she missed how safe I made her feel. But here's the truth. Some people don't want safe. They crave the chaos. They chase drama over devotion. And when you offer them everything, they don't recognize it as love. They see it as weakness. I'm not weak anymore. I built my peace from the ground up. And I made damn sure the ones who broke it never find a way back inside.